There's only one place where I see people moving around as much metal as you guys do here in the forge, but we can't have you guys forge there, so we've brought it to you. And that place is the gym. Right here in this setup, we've got a lot of different types of steel. Some of that steel is hardenable, some of it is not. You'll have to combine one piece of hardenable steel and one piece of mild steel to forge a signature blade in your signature style that falls within the following parameters. The length of the blade must be between 11 and 14 inches, and the overall length must not exceed 22 inches. Your 3-hour forge time starts now.
Off to the races.
Cool, calm, and collected, Jake.
Me and the other contestants, we all kind of pitched in and helped one another get our steel.
Take the whole thing over.
How do y'all want to chop it up?
I think I can tell if a steel is hardenable or not by what it was used for. Is it being put under a lot of stress? Is it meant to flex but not bend? I'm choosing the barbell and the twisted barbell. The straight bar has to hold more weight, so I think the straight barbell will be much harder steel than the twisted barbell. Making a sanmai would be the easiest way to go about making the blade I want to make, because it's the easiest way to stack it up and get in the forge quickly. I determined that the curved barbell is softer steel, so I welded on to the outer side of the longer piece of hardenable steel in the middle. And I'm a little nervous, but I think I got this.
Jake has grabbed one of the bars to the dumbbell.
I've seen people put 900 pounds on that thing and it flex but never breaks, so I know that it's gonna be a good high carbon steel.
I'm gonna do a sanmai Damascus with the mild steel from the casing of the bench itself.
It's super important to get your steel clean before you do a forge weld.
Hot steel!
Because any impurities can damage your weld and get you not to stick.
My game plan is to get my barbell flattened out. I got 2 pieces of mild steel cut out. I'm just gonna go ahead and stack them on there and forge weld them as fast as I can and get it rocking. I picked the steel off the leg curl, get the good piece of hardenable steel. Try to get the blade shaped out first, then we'll add the secondary piece into it. My forge welding skills was a little better. I'd try a sanmai or a taco or something like that. I'm gonna try to kind of play it safe.
I have to lose some meat off of this, grind it to shape, and heat treat it.
Braxton's really getting that blade ground down to a really fine look.
I'm gonna use a piece of mild steel from the frame and the handle.
Being that the test is plate chop, I'm putting the mild steel in the handle. That way, when it takes that big jolt, it doesn't shake loose or come apart.
I use the sanmai technique so that the outer shell of the blade is a little bit softer and can absorb some of the shock from smashing into that weight.
She's stuck, baby! She's stuck!
My welds seem like they have stuck,
Motherfucker!
and I realized that there was some D-lambs along the spine of the blade.
Hoping I can get these D-lambs out of here.
I don't want to grind all the mild steel off, but I need to fix these D-lambs along the spine of the blade.
Braxton has quenched it.
Oh, yeah.
It's warped. It's warped all over the place. So I'm gonna do a second quench. I am freaking out. I never have warps. I never have this problem at home. When you do multiple quenches, you can get cracking, your welds to split, you can get all sorts of kinds of problems.
If I were Braxton, what I'd do is I'd get some of that angle iron, I'd put it in a vise, I'd do my quench, and get it in that vise and clamp it down so it cools the rest of the way in a vise, being held straight.
Do you suppose that he's going for an edge quench?
That looks exactly like what he's up to.
Quench it again, and I have the same problem.
It's got a little warp in the tang. Not hard.
Yeah.
Man! And Braxton is back in the forge, man.
Oh.
I don't believe the Braxton blade was cold enough to get hard. You really have to wait till the very end of that cooling cycle for it to skate a pile.
I'm not going to move on to the second round. Pretty sure if I can't get this warp out. It's pretty bad.
I'm going in for the quench right now, man. My biggest concern at this moment is picking up a warp, and I'm hoping I haven't ground off all my mild steel. I'm pretty sure I haven't, but we'll see.
it! Jake's blade is maybe one of the thinnest we've ever had come out of a round one.
And narrow.
5 minutes!
Yeah, boy.
Yeah, it looks like Kyle just clinched.
Yep. It looks pretty straight.
Looks pretty straight.
I think she's good.
Braxton just quenched again.
It's taken me 4 quenches to get this blade to the straightness that I want it. It's not as hard as I would like it, but it's gonna have to work.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bladesmiths, shut down your machines, drop your tools. This first round of competition is over.
Bladesmiths, to test the strength and durability of your blades as well as the overall construction of your knives, I'll be batoning them mercilessly into this weight plate. Remember, this test is all about what the plate does to your knives and not what your knives do to the plate. Braxton, you're up first. You ready for this?
I feel a little nervous, but go ahead.
All right.
That is a piece of metal they're gonna be hitting. My blade didn't get as hard as I wanted to, so I'm starting to cringe.
Good job, man.
Yeah.
Well, Braxton, first things first, you can see where I hit those weight plates. The first area is still sharp, but bent over. The second two areas have significant rolling. That being said, the rest of your knife is very sharp, extremely attractive looking knife. Well done.
Thank you.
Kyle, you're up next. What are you thinking?
Let her eat.
All right.
I am pretty sure my blade can handle it. You know, I made it pretty thick, pretty robust to handle that kind of abuse. But it's hard not to be concerned when they're gonna bash it into a cast iron plate. What the hell was that?
Kyle,
It broke.
your tang snapped in half. It's at a very critical spot. Can't hold on to this for further testing.
It broke in the handle where I forge welded that mild steel on.
Kyle, your blade has suffered a catastrophic failure in the handle on the second strike. However, you're not out of this competition just yet. Jake, that means that your blade needs to survive 2 licks against that plate. How you feeling right now?
Pretty nervous.
All right, gentlemen, let's see what happens. Ben?
I know that my blade's gonna be pretty durable, but my edge is pretty thin. I'm hoping that mine can outperform his, because at this point, it's my only hope.
It'll make it. One more.
As Ben goes to make the second strike on my blade, it's all in slow motion for me. My heart is in my throat.
There you go.
Jake, congratulations, your blade held up. Kyle, because your weapon suffered a catastrophic failure in the handle and can no longer continue with testing, I have to eliminate you from this competition.
Hey, man, it was a pleasure.
Blades are only as strong as their weakest point, and mine was in the handle. I may not be the Forge and Fire champion, but finishing a blade and being here was awesome. Definitely do it again in a heartbeat.
Braxton, Jake, congratulations. You fellas have made it to the 3rd round of this competition. Now we're sending you back to your home forges to make this iconic weapon from history. The Nagamaki. Good luck, bladesmiths. We'll see you in 4 days.
It's day 1. I'm back at the home forge. I'm pretty nervous going to make my first Japanese sword. The first thing I do is taking it down to size. Straightening this blade is a hassle. It's wanting to curve like a banana, and I'm having to straighten it out little by little. I have to be very meticulous on the amount of curve it has.
It's the start of day 2, and I'm ready to get to work and try and get this blade quenched. Fire them up, get them hot. I've never welded anything that big, and I really just can't wait to test it. I can't wait to swing that thing around in the yard just to have a feel for how it is. I checked the blade, and it's hard, it's straight, and I just have such a sense of relief. Let's hack at something, see if it's gonna break. Just like that. It snaps the tip off about 6 inches down from the tip. I will not be able to meet parameters with this blade, so I decide to start a new blade. Son of a bitch. You know, I probably had a stress fracture. The grain in there is pretty tight. I got half a day left to hammer out and forge out a blade.
Now that I've got the blade done, we've got the habaki done, and now it's time to do the tsuba. The guard is very important. Everything needs to be smooth. Oh, that's a tight fit. Feels really good. It's just a little bit heavy. The Nagamaki being too heavy can make it unwieldable and make it uncomfortable to swing around. That's right where the guard is. It's a little heavy. I mill a simple pattern into the tsuba to lose some weight. That actually feels a lot better now. All I lack is the wrapping and doing a final cleanup. I only have a few little things to do on day 4. This is cool.
My last day, I had so much to do. I have no room for error. I was able to forge out a blade, grind it out, and get it quenched. So I'm just gonna try and meet the parameters and get the blade turned in and sharp. Looks pretty good. I have my habaki done. That took me a long time yesterday. I have my tsuba pretty much where I want it. My main goal for today in general is just to get the handle complete. I am quickly running out of time. I needed to make this handle as quickly and as efficiently as possible. I'm trying to get a pretty good grip to where the blade is very easily indexed. I don't want the handle to be too thick, but honestly, I just need to get a handle on it. Solid, that's for sure. Once the glue dries on the leather wrap, I go ahead and start this long process of the Ito wrap. This just so happens to be one of the hardest builds I've ever done. I really could have used an extra day, but I'm just happy that it's over. Oh, that is smooth.
All right, bladesmiths, I will take your weapons to deliver killing blows, slashes, and thrusts on this wild boar carcass. Braxton, you're up first. You ready for this?
I'm ready. Go ahead.
Let's do this.
Man, we have hogs around where I'm from. Skin is very, very thick. I'm nervous, but there's nothing I can do. I guess gotta let the chips fall where they lay.
All right, Braxton, your Nagamaki here is definitely not boring. It is razor sharp. Every cut with this thick wild boar carcass allowed me to peel off layers of the very thick hide that it has. Also, the lightness that you have with this blade allows for switching with the grip here. It's got very good grip in the handle. I can index exactly where the edge is at all times. Overall, sir, your Nagamaki will kill.
Thank you.
All right, Jake, it's your turn. Ready for this?
Chop them up.
Let's do this.
It makes me a little bit nervous. I really want mine to chop through the boar as well, but the blade can actually take a lot of damage during the boar testing because there's bones. I know that Braxton's blade set a very high bar. Mine needs to perform just as good as his.
All right, Jake, let's talk about your Nagamaki here. It's sharp. Wielding this weapon is a lot of fun also. The weight you have here and the balance works. Overall, sir, your Nagamaki will kill.
Thank you.
Next up is the strength test. Dave?
Now, to test the strength and overall construction of your blades, I'll be chopping into this bamboo. Now, this test is not about what your blades do to the bamboo, what the bamboo does to your blades. Braxton, you're up first. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right, Braxton, as far as what the bamboo did to your blade, it did nothing. There's no deflection rolls, chips, anything on this blade. It's as sharp as when I picked it up. Nicely done. It's a very strong blade.
Thank you so much.
All right, Jake, you ready?
Let's do it.
All right, so your edge, just as sharp as when it started. There are no chips, rolls, deformation. It sliced right through the bamboo. Your handle is a little wide this way for me, but the fact that it's lean this way and that wrap's so nice and comfortable is, it evens it out. Well done.
Thank you. All right, bladesmiths, we know your blades can kill. We know they're strong. Now it's time to find out how sharp they are. Now, unlike the strength test, this is all about what your edge will do to these different materials, from the tatami, the melons, or the sandbags. Braxton, you're up first. You ready for this?
I'm ready.
All right, Braxton, your edge had no issues at all cutting through the tatami mats, cuts the melon easily, and on sandbags, it will cut through. Overall, sir, your weapon, it will cut.
Thank you.
Jake, your turn. You ready?
Let's do it.
All right, Jake, let's talk about your Nagamaki right here. Razor sharp. It cuts easily on the tatami, cuts the melons, and just off the orders of the corners, it cut it easily. Overall, sir, it will cut.
Thank you.
This is going to be very hard for us.
Bladesmiths, the judges have made the final decision. The new Forged and Fire champion is Braxton. Congratulations, you're the Forged and Fire champion. Jake, unfortunately, your blade didn't make the cut. Ben Abbott's going to tell you why.
Well, Jake, you should be proud. You made a beautiful and effective weapon. And for us, this came down to the finest of points. The fact that your blade wasn't quite as finished, and we had a slight preference for Braxton's handle, and that's the reason we're sending you home.
Jake, please surrender your blade.
I think the time frame that I had to build my second blade definitely had a factor in it. I may not be the Forged and Fire champion, but I feel like I accomplished a lot and are a privilege to be here.
Braxton, congratulations. You're the Forged and Fire champion, and that's a title that comes with a check for 10 grand. Good job.
I feel great about what I've accomplished. I'm still shaking. It was an awesome experience, and I proved that I can hang with the big guys.
Bladesmiths, congratulations. You fellas have made it into the final round of this competition. Now we're sending you back to your home forges to recreate this iconic weapon from history. General George Washington's lion-headed Kato. Good luck, Bladesmiths. We'll see you in 4 days.
So my billet's gonna be made out of 1084 and 15N20. Really good contrasting steels for Damascus. The last time I did my saber build for the Army episode, I went with the Damascus. The Damascus, it is a risk. because there's multiple things that could go wrong, from cold shuts to stress fractures. But as long as my blade does perform as I expect it to, my Damascus is going to be that thing that puts me over the top.
Here we are again, back in Springfield, Virginia, at my home forge. The plan for today is to cut out and billet for the sword. So this wood anvil, as I call it, or the log whap method, to put a gentle arc in the blade. That's the same log that I used for the Mameluke sword for the Marine competition. It worked before. If it's not broken, don't fix it.
Day 2, I got to get this blade quenched today, and I'm going to make some changes to the way I do it in my forge. I'm going to try using the tube method. Main goal is to take this tube and just turn it into a nice, long, hot oven. Had a little bit of issues getting even heat last time, so I think with that tube, it should give me a nice, more even, controlled heat. I don't hear any cracks, pings, or anything like that. I nailed it. It's exactly what I need it to be.
Anyway, day 4, finally here. I'm feeling ready, I have a plan, and I have some hurdles to get over. The biggest one roars is that lion head pommel. First thing this morning, I'm gonna put that thing in plaster Paris and let it set. I wonder if I should do it with pewter. You don't have to get pewter nearly as hot. It'll be shiny, it'll look just like silver. Looks like garbage. I think I'm gonna go with the silver one just because of the look of the silver. Right now, I need to finish the lion head, polish everything, and sharpen the blade, try to take some weight off anywhere that I possibly can, and then put it all together. Woo! It's done. It's done.
Day 4, final day. I've never carved a pommel before, so I don't know how long it's gonna take, and I'm gonna have to put some time into it. So I'm just profiling from one way right now, the shape of the lion's head, to kind of refine it to what my final shape is gonna be. And then I start removing some more material, a little fine tuning with my rotary tool. Pretty much looks like a lion to me.
All right, veterans, welcome to the keel test. To find out what kind of lethal damage your weapon will do, I will take your weapon and deliver killing blows to this big carcass. Tyler, you're up first. Ready? Okay, just check.
I'm ready.
All right, Tyler, your handle construction, just right. Your edge is very sharp. Overall, sir, this saber will keel.
Perfect.
All right, Gene, your turn, sir. You ready?
Let's do this, Doug.
All right, Gene, this is a heavy sword, very forward heavy. But when you have a forward heavy blade that you're hitting and meets resistance, a cylindrical, almost circular handle makes it twist in my hand. So probably this is the reason why the chain came off. But your blade is sharp, it will keel.
All right, gentlemen, December 25th, 1776, George Washington leads the Continental Army across a frozen Delaware River to attack the Hessians at Trenton, New Jersey. And he probably didn't chip his way through the ice, but that's not going to keep us from our strength test, the ice block chop. Tyler, you're up first. Are you ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, so Tyler, your chain fell off, but there's no damage on your edge. Your handle's comfortable other than the chain. You nailed it.
Thanks.
Good job. All right, Gene.
Do it.
All right, Gene, your blade's edge is still there and still sharp. The issue is the rest of your chain fell off and it's picked up a bend. I have less issue with that and more issue with this polished handle. It's just hard to hold on to, but it is strong and it does have an edge, so good job.
Hurrah. All right, veterans. Our sharpness test today is the Hessen charge. This is all about what your edge will do to these dummies. Tyler, you're up first. You ready for this?
Yep.
All right, Tyler. The weight of your weapon does prevent me from going very fast, but you have a very sharp edge all the way through. Your weapon, sir, it will cut.
Thank you.
All right, Gene, it's your turn, sir. You ready?
Let's do this, Doug.
All right, Gene, to be able to maintain a good grip on this, more of the cuts I create are more impact as opposed to a slash where it cuts all the way through. So you have some cuts here that are more nicks, deep nicks, because you have a very sharp edge. And for this test, sir, your weapon will cut. Awesome.
Tyler, Gene, first of all, I want to thank you both for your service. You're both champions in my mind. You've already won your branch divisions, but there can only be one Battle of the Branches champion. And you'll walk out of here with a check for $50,000. And that champion is Tyler. Congratulations. You are the Battle of the Branches Forged in Fire champion. Gene, please surrender your blade.
There's a lot of Marines out there, and there's a lot of great guys in the Marine Corps. And so for me to stand here and represent them is pretty humbling. I learned, too, that it's not about just the metal being forged in fire. I feel like I've been forged in fire. And it's how you handle the ups and downs, the wins, the losses, and it'll determine real quick how you've been heat-treated throughout your life.
Tyler, congratulations. You overcame every obstacle set in front of you. You beat out all the other Smiths, and now you're the Battle of the Branches Forged in Fire champion. That's a title that comes with a check for $50,000, and most importantly, bragging rights. Good job, my brother. Please present your blade to the judges.
I'm super excited. When this whole thing started, I had no idea how it was all going to turn out. Feels good to have represented the Army. The fact that I just won $50,000 is starting to set in. I'm Sergeant Tyler Hackbart, and I'm the new Battle of the Branches champion.